When you look at their receiver depth, they don't have tremendous depth. And then with their history of injury and not being available, it's like that's what makes it then hard to look at Tyreek and say, oh, well, Tyreek can be available, knowing that he's coming off of this type of injury. So it's tough, but I think if there is a team that understands who he is and what he can be immediately, because forget the plays, forget what they've done since he left. Just the rapport of the guys you mentioned, and you didn't even mention Patrick Mahomes, like just that rapport of knowing that you have that guy in your back pocket. If you're Patrick Mahomes, you know you can get something out of that if he's available and healthy enough to play.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think it's fine. It makes sense. I don't expect him making a huge splash there, but I could see him making a big play in a key game at some point. I don't think it'd be consistent excellence, but I could see him contributing once or twice for a big catch here.
I mean, I feel like they would, in theory, have him in the role that right now they have slotted for Tyquan Thornton. Like the field stretcher. Now, Tyquan's much taller than Tyreek.
And I assume much faster.
So
I don't know.
So that's the thing. I
mean, Tyquan Thornton can move.
Yeah,
Tyreek is a different type of speed.
Well, I mean, I don't.
So even if
I
you
think
lose
you
one
could
or
beat
two
him right
steps,
now in a race.
Who, me?
He's
injured.
saying post-surgery. But so that's the thing. I don't.
You can't run anymore. I can. Then maybe I'll beat him.
Well, I gotta see. I gotta see where he's at.
Listen,
he's on crutches.
Listen, KW. It's definitely true that if when he's recovered from the surgery, he's no longer fast, then no team's going to win.
Is it fair for me to expect, like, I'm not expecting 26-year-old Tyreek Hill post-injury.
Here's the question I have that maybe Greg would know, but maybe only an orthopedic surgeon would know. The type of injury that he had and the surgery that he had, when he is fully recovered, is the part that's the least back to normal his change of direction, start-stop, or is it top-end speed?
That's interesting.
Because I could see a scenario where
straight line
speed is close to the same.
Okay.
It's his ability to plant and stop and do different things like that.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny how now everyone's talking about bringing in Tyreek Hill, but when I suggested that the Kansas City Chiefs should add more offensive weapons, I got shouted down and everybody was having a meltdown. Now, suddenly, it's fine to say, let's get Tyreek Hill. And it's like, oh, okay. Greg Jennings gives the green light. Nick Wright says it now, so it's completely fine. Look, here's my view. If you're the Chiefs, given the setup they have, any potential headaches that could come with Tyreek Hill, I think there's almost no team that should actually take him on except for the Kansas City Chiefs. And I suspect the Chiefs would be more than happy to do that because they'd be totally at ease with the situation. There'd be no reason for them to say no. You still have Andy, you still have Mahomes, you have Kelsey, you even have Spags on defense, yeah, Bieniemy. The infrastructure is as rock solid as it gets. And especially, it's one thing if it was going to be, well, they'd have to pay him like $30 million or something. That's not the case either. So in a lot of ways, it ends up being kind of a no-brainer given their roster. Given who he is to the Chiefs, who he was with Patrick Mahomes and Andy specifically, it's just a no-brainer. And I'm sure there's still plenty left in the tank. You know, trying to predict what a player looks like after an injury is always impossible. Understanding top-end speed or being able to make specific cuts and PL. And your foot, injuries are tricky. It's really hard to know. And what makes it even harder is that when you're dealing with a truly elite athlete like Tyreek Hill with such elite speed, we don't even truly understand why. We can explain it as best we can, but we don't really actually understand. You could take another person with Tyreek Hill's exact physical makeup, or Usain Bolt with his exact makeup, and they're not as fast. You'd say, wait a second. He has the exact same build, the exact same ratio of type 1 muscle fibers to type 2 fibers. And yet, we still don't see it. They have the same technique, this and that. So when you're at that edge of human potential, of what you can possibly squeeze out, I just think it's really, really, really hard. It's different when you're talking about other positions, even quarterback. When people say, oh, he tore his meniscus. How's he going to be? The answer is, he'll be sore. It's more about feeling it after games. It's not really going to affect him much because even an elite quarterback isn't depending on his knee or his Achilles that much. You're not pushing it to the absolute maximum limit in that way. But when we're trying to figure out his pure ability to get open, the fastest he can run at any given moment, it's really hard to predict. It's just really, really, really hard to predict. So I think it largely becomes a fool's errand. So it'll be interesting to see, when he's actually officially healthy, what he looks like post-injury. He had been getting more and more banged up. So it's just, Xavier Worthy banged up, Rashee Rice either banged up or suspended. Who knows at any given moment. And then you're talking about Tyreek Hill and Patrick Mahomes both coming back from surgery. I would have loved to see the Chiefs essentially make the move that the Los Angeles Rams made last year with Davante Adams. That was a move that, when it happened, just seemed so genius. And then when you saw the actual effect it had on the Rams, you thought, oh my gosh. They got this guy for like $20 million or whatever. Boom. Right? No question about it. Such an elite move. The amount of money you had to pay was just perfect. In a lot of ways, that's what could be so huge for the Kansas City Chiefs, and seemingly the only move for that kind of potential would be a Tyreek Hill. But Davante was obviously a safer bet in that regard. With Tyreek, you kind of have to figure it out in the moment. But it could have huge consequences. Right? It could have a massive, massive impact on this team. So yeah, I wonder how close they are to it, because we've been hearing whispers of this since the injury first happened. Since this all first went down, okay, he's going to be leaving Miami, etc., etc. People were kind of talking about the reunion of Mahomes and Tyreek, the Chiefs and Tyreek, and all of that. So we're kind of seeing an extension of that, but I wonder how close they actually are. I try to figure out why they wouldn't and it. And it's hard for me to see why they wouldn't at least take a flyer on it and just say, listen. If he can give anything to this team, why wouldn't you? And it would be pretty seamless. I think at this point in Tyreek Hill's career, I just don't think he's going to be this big diva, this big, give me the ball, I came here to be the #1 wide receiver. I just don't think you're getting that version of him. I think it'll be more of a sense of coming home, playing for Andy, linking back up with Mahomes, etc., etc. But I don't know. It'll be interesting. Those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about the Kansas City Chiefs and the idea of Tyreek Hill coming back to them? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I read every single comment. So do you agree with me or disagree with me? Either way, let's get into some discussions. Let's get into some arguments, but ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We're building an amazing community here, and I'd absolutely love to see you as part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to. Something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.